today's session of Visual JForex, we will be getting familiar with the indicator named ADXR, that is the Average Directional Movement Index rating. This is a derivative of the ADX, for which we have done the session yesterday, and this is a momentum indicator. This is kind of averaging of the ADX indicator, and since it is an average of the ADX, we have more lag in the ADXR, and also because of the lag there is more smoothing. So this is one more variant of the ADX, and its utility is dependent on how you want to customize it and how you want to utilize this on the Visual JForex platform to build an automated trading setup. Here is the short description for it. It is the smoother version of the ADX indicator, and it is used to kind of iron out the volatile moves which we might see in the ADX values. We will add this to this board, the Visual JForex platform board developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. Here we have this indicator. Start point can be any of the three depending on your requirement. For example, let us take this on tick as the start point for today's session. Now coming to the parameters, here you will have the short description. Anytime you feel confused, you can just check out the explanation, and for more explanation you can simply do more search on the internet. Now let us also add this indicator to the chart so that it's easier for us to understand its function and the utility. ADXR, all you have to do is search, and here we have this. Now for the current hour, the output value, the value is at 24.256. That means if we go by its developer's intent, the indicator is just some distance away from entering into a trending phase. As per its basic design, the value above 25 is considered indicative of the underlying trend, and the value below 25 is indicative of the fact that underlying instrument is in a sideways trend and there is no clear trend present in the underlying instrument. The prices are kind of trading in a narrow range. So the idea is to go for trading opportunities only when the indicator, the ADXR, is about 25, and to sit on the sidelines if the values are below 25. Of course, now these are the developer's idea, and of course it's always up to us to kind of do the editing or to modify the requirements as per our needs. So here you will have to do the observation and see what kind of combination is likely to prove profitable for you. And one more way is to look at swift changes, that is changes in the ADXR values on the upside in quick time, that is in couple of hours time the value shoots up. Even that is also indicative of the fact that momentum is gaining pace and it's time to get into the action. So there are multiple ways in which you can use the ADXR, and one of the commonly held belief, or you can say one of the commonly held idea while dealing with the ADXR, is that we should be going for the trades as long as the ADXR values are rising, and then as soon as the value starts to fall, that means the momentum is waning and we need to be more careful. So that's how we can use this ADXR indicator in trading to determine, to figure out the optimum entry and exit opportunities. Here I would like to remind that this indicator is basically concerned with the strength of the trend, not the direction of the trend. So here this is neutral to the direction of the trend. We don't really get any idea whether the underlying trend is bullish or bearish. That's not what we can learn with the use of ADXR. It is basically related to the strength of the trend, and to that extent it does a fine job. And as I said while starting as well, the lag is there because this is the average value of the ADX values, so we have more lag in case of ADXR. So in ADX the changes will be reflected quite sooner than compared to the ADXR, and some of the traders even use the combination of ADX and ADXR, both of these, and some crossover kind of setup can also be utilized whenever the ADX crosses above the ADXR, even that kind of scenario, or for vice versa, both the conditions can also be utilized to design the trade system. Now let us go back on the Visual JForex board. So here we have to define this instrument, the instrument of your choice. For the session we will keep the Euro USD as it is, but I would like to remind that any of these listed indicators can be taken for designing the algorithm. Coming to the time period is the value on which you want to go for the trading opportunities. So it can be anything starting from 10 seconds to 1 minute, 10 seconds to 1 month, and all these values in between. If we say choose 10 minutes, then we will have to customize our setup accordingly. And now that ADXR is the average of the ADX, we see more smoother version of the ADX, and I personally feel it's better to use it on the lower time frame compared to the ADX. And of course you will have to see what works best for you, but this idea that we get involved early using lower time frame using the ADXR, as it is smoother compared to the ADX, can also be given a try. And after designing the system you will have to give it test run and see how it performs. So if we were to design the ADXR algorithm using 10 minutes, then it will look something like this. The trade will be initiated somewhere close to this 3.50 GMT today, somewhere here, depending on how you are determining the trend of the underlying instrument. If you use any averages, moving averages, then mostly you will get the trade side on the bullish side, and here you will get the buy trade somewhere around here. And we have seen significant moves from those levels. Even in the prior occasions we have these ADX values shooting up prior to the big move. So in that way we can always use this ADXR indicator on different time frames as per our requirement. And here also you can customize this indicator. Now this is for 10 minutes. If you want to make it 15, we can do that. We can change this to 15 minutes, to half an hour, or 30 minutes. So here we have this charting done on the 30 minutes. Here also we have the ADXR values which are below 25 only. And but as I had said, one condition where we see swift turnaround in the ADXR output, when we see sharp rise in the ADXR output in short span of time, in such instances we can also initiate the trade. So those kind of instance can be exploited using the ADXR. Now coming to the shift is the look back period. Shift is the time frame, the look back period by which you want to go back in time. If you want to take the data, say 10 candlesticks period back, then all you have to do is put the shift as 10, and the output value will be the value which was there, the 10 candlesticks period back. If it is of 30 minutes each, then that means we will be looking at the value 5 hours back. So that's how this look back period works. If you want to do the comparison between the various ADXR output of different variants. Then you have to use the loopback periods and you will have the output values for doing the comparison. So for example, if we take 10, then we will be going back in time by 5 hours. The time period, it can be 14 or whichever value you choose it. The 14 is actually the default value which can be changed, and longer the time period you use, smoother the ADXR output gets, and shorter the time period use, the more volatile, more movement you see in the ADXR output. Now, after defining these input parameters, we get the output value, which can be used then to define the conditions or to do the calculations as per the idea, as per the logic of the algorithm which we are developing. Applied price can be on the bid side or on the ask side, and also it can be any of these choices given to you on how you want to calculate the ADXR. If you want to use the closing price, you can do that. You can use open price, high price, low price, median price, typical price, and all these options. And you will see slight changes in the output depending on which applied price you are taking for the calculation of the ADXR. So here on the chart we don't really see that option, but for so here we have this we we don't have that option of applied price on the chart, but we have that on the Visual JForex platform where you can customize it as per your requirement. So that's it from my side for today's session of Visual JForex. I hope you will do the experimentation and see what you can build with the indicator ADXR and then deploy it on your account to see if it is profitable or not. So that's it from my side. See you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. We will be back on Monday. Have a fabulous weekend ahead. Goodbye.